see a few more important topics from SQL, that is MySQL, and we'll learn DDL commands, and then we are also going to learn about built-in functions in SQL, how to use built-in functions in today's session. Okay, so first of all, we'll see DDL commands. What are the DDL commands we have in SQL? So data definition language, right? So let me share a small presentation. So DDL commands. So DDL means data definition language. Create, alter, drop, truncate, and rename. So these are the commands comes under DDL command. So in the last sessions we have discussed about DML commands. A create comes under the DDL again. So create table we have used. So that command comes under the DDL. And we have created table. After that we have inserted the data and we have updated, deleted. So these things also we have done. So today we are going to see DDL commands, data definition language. So the name itself is saying definition. So definition means structure of the database or table or whatever. So by using these commands, we can work with the definitions like table. Suppose I want to create a table, or I want to alter the table, or I want to modify the column. Okay, I want to delete the column of the table. So these things we can perform by using DDL commands. So create, alter, drop, truncate, and rename. So these are the 5 commands which comes under data definition language. Okay. So now we will see how to use this particular command. The first command is create and alter. So create is creation. So it will create a new database object, like it can create database. We can create a table. We can create a view. We can create synonym. So not only table. So we have multiple type of objects are there in the database. So, but table is a very basic entity or basic object in the database. So we have also view, synonym. So these are also there in the database. We'll see them later. So basically the create is a command by which we can create a new object in the database. New object in the sense it can be database or schema, or it can be table, or it can be views, or it can be synonym, whatever. If I want to create something new, we have to use a create keyword. And if you want to modify something, or suppose I already created some table, in that particular table, I want to add a new column, and or else I want to drop the existing column, or I want to modify the existing column with respect to size as well as data type, or I want to rename a column. So these things are possible by using alter command. So create and alter. So now we will see how we can use this particular command, create and alter. So here I have few number of queries. So we have a student table in the MyDB we created in the last session. So in that particular table, I'll show you how we can use this particular command, create and alter command. Okay, so let's go to our workbench client. So let me show you, this is my workbench client. Let me open this. So once the workbench is open, we need to, this is our connection which is already created earlier. So I'm opening this connection. Just click on this and now it will opening the connection to the database. So now I'm just removing this. So now I have schemas. So these are the current schemas are available. So currently we are working on HR and as well as MyDB schemas, right? So now I'll go to MyDB schema. So here I have some student table. I'll first delete the table and then I'll create a new table by using create command. And then also I'll try to alter some of the columns and names, all these things. So first of all, let's open the query editor. So if you click on this option, so here it will open the query editor here. So how to delete the table? So how to drop the table is we have a simple command called, first of all, we need to use MyDB. So it will go to our database. First execute this command, and then now it is focusing on MyDB. So now execute this command. So first of all, I'll drop the existing student table and then again recreate this. So I'll just say drop table student. So this command will drop the complete table along with the data as well as structure. So when I execute this, so drop table student is done. So when I refresh your project here, so click on the refresh, now student is gone. So I don't have any tables in the MyDB. So now I'm going to create a new table. Okay. So I'm going to create a new table in the MyDB database. So how to create the table? So command is create. By using create command, we can create the table. So create table student. And here we need to specify the columns, right? Say SID. SID, I'll say integer type of data. So I have said 4 digits I need to have, comma, S name, that's the student name. And this is a string type of data. I'll say varchar, and I will allow the 15 digits or 15 characters. And S name, I'll say SID, S name. And so currently we have only 2 columns. So one is SID and S name. So now execute this command. This will create a new table in the database. Now that new table is created. So refresh here. So then you will see the student table. So once you describe this table, let's say describe student, and this command will give you whatever columns and available in this particular table. So currently we have only 2 fields, and the type of the fields and the nulls, and there are no other information is available. Currently we don't have any data in this table. Fine. So now I'll try to insert some data. So let me insert 2 records. Let's say how to insert data. Insert into student. There's a table name, values, and SID is a number. So I'll just say 101. S name is a string. So put in the single quotations. So here I will say David. So this is the first insert statement. I will also insert a few more records. Let's say this is 2 and this is a 3. And he is a Smith, and he is a Scott. Okay, so let me execute all this thing together. All the commands we can execute together. So fine. So all the instance statements are successful. And now what I will do is I will execute one command called commit. So until unless we execute this commit, the records will not be permanent. Okay, fine. So now let's execute the command called retrieve the data. So let's say select a star from student and execute this command. Then we have a 3 records currently in the table, right? So after doing all these things, suppose I want to alter the table, like I want to add a new column in this table. I want to add a new column in this table, or I want to rename a column in this table, or I want to drop the existing column in the table. So to perform these things, we can use alter command. Okay, so we use alter command. So DDL command, the first command is create command that we have seen just now. Create command, by using create command, we can create the database objects. Now by using alter command, we can alter the database objects. So now I'm going to perform few things. One is I want to add a new column. So by using alter command, I want to add new column, add new column. So currently I have 2 columns, SID and S name. So I want to add one more column called as a grade. So I want to add student grade. So how we can add that? So by using alter command. So we can add like this. So command is alter. You can also type in small letters, all the commands, because SQL is a not case sensitive. Okay. So alter table, and table name we have to specify. So alter table name, that is your student, alter table name, and we have to add the new column. So here we have to use one keyword called add, and which column we need to add, we need to specify the column name, data type, and the size of the data type. Suppose I want to add a grade column. So here I'll say grade, and the type of the grade is, let's say varchar. I'll say 2 digits, I will allow it. That's it. So now execute this command. So alter table student, add grade of this one. So 2 brackets are enough. So this is a command, alter table student, add, and this is a column and the data type and the size of the data type. So varchar is a data type. So means it will allow the character type of data. So now I have just stated one statement. Now let me execute this, and alter table student is my student name table, add grade is my column and data type of that column, and 2 means, so grade will be normally one single character, but additionally I have given one more character. So it will allow the only 2 characters. So execute. So now it is executed successfully. So alter table student add is executed. So once it is executed, if you want to see the structure of the table, again execute the describe command. So describe student. So once you describe the student, now it will give you another column. Now you can see SID, SNAME, grade column is added. So SID, SNAME and grade column is added. But at the time of inserting the data, we have inserted only SIDs and SNAMEs, but we haven't inserted any grade, right? Because this is a new column which we have added just now. But if I select this data from the table, what is giving? It is giving null. So these values we have not inserted so far. But SID, SNAME is already have the data, but additionally have added the new column called as a grade. Okay, so if you want to update this particular column, you can still add that column. So we need to just use update command there. Update grade is equal to so and so, where SID is equal to something. So we need to write a simple query there. By update command, we can add the data in the particular column. So here we are discussing about alter command. So alter command is only works on the definition level, not the data level. Okay, so now I have shown you how to add a new column in the table. Suppose I want to drop the column. Okay, I want to drop the column. How we can do that? So drop the column means I want to remove one of the column, right? So to drop the column, again we have to use the same command, alter table student, alters table student, and the command is drop column. Alter table student, drop column, and which column we need to drop? So grade column is already created just now, so I'm going to delete the same column. So I'll just remove the same column, grade. Okay, alter table student and drop column grade. So this command will delete the existing column. So this is also definition level command, right? So when I run this code, and before executing, one more time I'll show you the description of the table. So currently, one second. Right, so currently here I have three columns, SID, SNAME and grade. Now after dropping the column, so I have dropped the column. Now again description, execute the describe command. Now you can see only two fields here, SID and SNAME. So we have dropped the particular column, that is called as a grade column. Okay, so this is how we need to use alter command. So we have seen two important things. One is how to add a new column and how to drop the existing column. So we can also modify the existing column. So we have seen multiple operations based. One is we have seen how to add a new column, and then the next operation we have seen how to drop a column. Drop a column from a table. Now I'll show you how to modify the existing column. Modify existing column. Suppose here I already have two columns, SID and SNAME. Suppose, for example, here this particular table, SNAME field allows only 15 characters of the name. So the name should have only 15 characters. Below 15 characters also will be allowed. But if I want to save a name above the 15 characters, it will not allow us. Okay, it will give the error. So now what I want to do is I have a list of names. All the names are above the 15 characters. So what I should do now, I should modify this particular column. So I should modify this particular column. Means I need to increase the size of the column. So how to increase the size of the column? So to increase the size of the column, so again we have to use the same command, alter table student, and modify. So this keyword we have to use, alter table student, modify column. So previously we used drop column. So this time I'm using modify column. Okay, drop column is done. So modify column, and which column we need to modify? We need to specify. So SNAME column I need to modify, SNAME, and we need to also specify what is the modification we have to do. So the modification is I want to modify the data type size. Okay, previously it was 15. Now I need to increase to 20. So SNAME varchar of 20. Specify that. Okay, alter table student, modify column, SNAME varchar of 20. And one more important thing, guys. Suppose I already have 15 characters, right? Size is 15, and I already have some data, which is all the data is below the 15. So if you want to increase the size of the column, you can still increase it, no issues at all. But if you want to decrease the size of the column, we have to clear that particular column. We should not have any data on that particular column, and then only we can decrease the size of the column, because already have some data, right? Suppose I have some data with 15 characters. Some of the names are 15 characters. Now I'll try to reduce the column size as a 10. So then what happened? What happened to the records, available records? So there will be conflict, right? So before decreasing the size, we need to make sure data should be clear. So first we need to remove the data, and then we should be able to decrease the column. So that's a prerequisite for that. But to increase the to increase the column, we don't have any restrictions, because already whatever data is available, it is still there, and size of the column will be increased. From the next round, we can insert the data which is more than 15 characters. Okay. So first of all, currently I have varchar 15. Now after executing this command, so I have executed successfully. Again, do the description student. So now you can see varchar 20 has been changed. So now you can also store the data above 15 characters. Again, below 20 characters. Okay. So this is how we need to use the alter command. So alter command will be used to add a new column into the table, drop the existing column, modify the existing column. Modify the existing column means we can increase or decrease the size, increase or decrease the size, or we can also change the data type if you want. Suppose here currently the column S name is varchar, and suppose I want to change the data type, I want to use a different data type, you can also change the data type. Okay, but in that case we need to make sure the data should not be there in the column. Okay, so this is how we need to use alter command for adding a new column in the table, for dropping a column, and modifying the existing column to increase or decrease of the sizes. And now one more thing we can do is renaming a column. So how to rename a column? So we have another command. We can still use alter command to rename the columns. Okay, the another operation is renaming column. So I already have some column in the database, but I want to rename that column. I want to give a new name to the column. So rename the column. So this is another operation we can perform by using alter command. So how to rename the column in a table? So currently in my table, so SID, S name is there. So I want to rename these two columns. So instead of SID, I will say STUID. Instead of S name, I'll say STU name. Or else I can change one name. And S name, instead of S name, I'll say STU name. I want to rename the column. So how we can do this? Again, the same command, alter table student. So every time we need to specify the student table name. So alter table student, and here we use another keyword called rename. So we have used alter student drop column, alter student modify column, alter student rename column. Okay, this is another column, rename column, and here we need to specify the old name and the new name. So the old name is S name, right? So the new name is S name 2. We have to change with the new name. So as this STU name. So this is the whole command. So alter table student rename column, S name to STU name. So S name is already there. So now I'm going to change it to STU name. So this is how we can rename the column. And I think spelling is mistake. Alter table student rename is giving error. Just a moment, guys. Yes, yeah, rename is there. Rename column, S name is pushed. Let's try this. So execute this column. I'll not put this one. Okay, so I think this is successful executed, guys. So alter table student rename column name S name to STU name. So it is giving some reason, some error. Maybe this is not supported in some version, but still fine. So I have executed this command. So it is successfully executed. So alter table student rename column S name to STU name. Now I will describe the table again. So I'll execute this, describe student, execute this. Now in the description, I can see the name is changed here, STU name. So previously it was S name, now it is a STU name. Okay, so these are the 4 operations we can perform using alter command. So we can add a new column to the table, we can drop the existing column, we can modify the existing column, and we can rename the column. So these are all operations are performed at the table level, tables and columns level, right? So that's the reason these commands are this alter command comes under the data definition language. So we have seen create and alter. So we have few more commands under DDL. The next command is drop. Drop is also comes under the DDL command, drop. And there is one more command called as a truncate. And actually delete is not comes under the DDL command, but we need to also compare these two commands with the delete command. So delete is not comes under the DDL command. Delete is comes under the DML command. Okay, but drop, truncate, delete, these commands seems very similar, but there are a lot of differences are there. So first of all, let me finish this drop and truncate, then I will discuss about the delete. Okay, so create, alter we have seen. So what is drop? So drop used to normally drop the database objects. If you want to drop the database, or if you want to completely remove the database, just drop database. And we can remove the table, or we can remove the table. Just like how we have used create command for all the database objects for creation. Similarly, if you want to drop all the database objects, we use drop command. Okay, we use a drop command. So drop and truncate is there. So first we need to compare these two, then we go for delete command. So in the DDL, we have a drop command and we have a truncate command. What is the difference between drop and truncate? So drop command will completely drop the table definition. Data, columns, definition, everything is gone. So completely table itself is gone. But when you use truncate command, table still present, but the data will be deleted. So table structure still present, but only the data will be deleted. So when I use truncate command. But we have another DML command, delete command. When I use this command, this one and truncate will work similar way, but there is again difference is there. So when I use delete command, it will also remove the only data. It will also remove only the data from the table, but still table is present. Even when you use a truncate command, here also the data will be deleted, but still table structure is there. And truncate delete will seems very similar, but what is the major difference between these two are, if you do truncate, the data will be permanently removed from the table. We cannot roll back the data. But when I use delete command, the data will be removed temporarily. Even though if you remove the data, even though if you deleted the data, you can get back the data. You can roll back the data. So that is possibility we have in the delete command. So drop is a drop and truncate. These two are comes under the DDL commands. Delete command is comes under the DML commands, because this command works only on the data, not the table level definitions. But what is exactly difference is, drop command will completely drop the table. Data, structure, table definition, everything will go on permanently. And truncate command will also delete the table data, but table still present. Table structure is still present, but data is removed permanently. And delete also remove the data from the table. Still table structure is present, but the data can be rolled back. We can also get back the data from the delete. So these are the basic differences between drop, truncate, and delete commands. Okay, so now I'll show you practically how we can use these commands. So go to your workbench. So I'm just removing this command. So currently I have a table, right? So select a star from student. So I have this particular table. When I execute this, you will get some data, right? So now what I want to do is, the first thing I'll show you delete, truncate, and drop. So I will first show you delete command, and then I will show you truncate command, and then finally I will show you drop command. Okay. So first I will show you delete command, guys. How to delete the data from this table, and I will also show you how to roll back the data. We can also roll back the data. Okay. So now, before that, what we need to do is, we need to execute a command called as set auto commit 0. Only in the MySQL this option is available. So what is auto commit means? So we need to understand this, guys. What is auto commit is, in MySQL, whenever you do set an action on the table, like you have inserted some data, or you have updated the data, or you have deleted the data. So as soon as you have done certain action, MySQL by default commit those records in the table Commit in the sense it will make permanent action. That is a commit. So whenever you do certain action or whenever you're executing your DML action, either it can be insert, update, or delete. MySQL by default commit those transactions in the table by default. So in that particular context, so these commands will behave differently. So truncate command, delete command will behave differently because auto commit is enabled. So to enable these functionality like drop, truncate, and delete, or if you want to get back the data, we need to make this property become 0. Set auto commit, we should make it as a 0. So then it will not perform any automatic commit. So auto commit is one of the property in MySQL. Because of this auto commit feature is enabled. So by default, this value is 1. Auto commit value will be the 1. So when auto commit value is the 1, so automatically whenever you do certain transactions, permanently saved in the database tables. Okay. So this is a scenario, guys. Let me repeat once again. Suppose I have inserting some data. So exactly we need to understand what is auto commit. This is an important feature of MySQL, and we don't have that particular feature in any other databases. So here, while inserting some data, right? So some inserting data. Let's say I have inserted some data. I have inserted some data in the table. As soon as I have inserted data, so the data will not be stored in the table permanently. Okay, the data will not be stored in the table permanently. After insertion is done, immediately you disconnect from the database and again reconnect and see the table. You don't find the data because insert, update, delete commands will not perform the permanent actions. It will just insert the data table or update the data and modify the data. Okay, delete the data. So after doing these actions, we need to perform the commit action. So immediately we have to perform the commit action. So what the commit action means, whatever transaction we have done like insert, update, delete, when I perform a commit action, then these particular transactions will be permanently affected in the database. So as soon as we have executed insert command or update command or delete command, we must execute commit command to make the permanent changes in the database. Okay, that's a normal way of doing. But in MySQL, we no need to execute this command every time. Why? Because this auto commit will be enabled in the MySQL. Auto commit is by default is enabled. So as soon as you have done insert, update, delete, by default the data will be stored in the tables permanently. Okay, so that's how auto commit works. So to use these particular features, we need to make that auto commit feature is 0. We should disable that. Okay. So now what happens if I disable that? As soon as I have done the insert, it will not make the permanent changes until unless we have execute this command. Okay, so that facilities we should enable that. So now I make this set auto commit is equal to 0. Now what I will do is observe, guys, very important, very important feature. So now I'm using drop command. So currently I have some data in this table. So I have 3 records in the table. So now I'm deleting the data. By using delete command, I am deleting the data. So let's see how to delete the data. So the command is delete from table is student. Delete from student. So this command will delete all the data from the student. Okay. So observe this, guys. I'm just deleting the data from the student. Delete from student. Executed. So now execute this command. So there is 1 second, guys. Still there is some data, right? So we have to delete this properly. So delete from student, I'm executing. So because the command is not properly executed. So you are using safe update mode and you try to update a table without where that uses key collar. Okay, so here we need to do some changes, guys. We need to apply the safe mode. We need to enable the safe mode. So just a moment. I will just update that property. Sorry, guys. So first what I have done is I have just added this one, set SQL safe updates, because whenever we do deletes or updates, we need to execute this command. We need to set this property as a 0, then only it will allow us to update the table. So why we need to execute this one? Because the table will allow us to update the table, insert the data into the table. So once we have add this property, then I have deleted the data from the student. So my query is successful. Set star here, delete from student, the query is successful. Then I have again executed select star from student. So now we don't have any records in the select star from student. I have executed. So again, I get back the records because rollback is already executed. So one more time, I'll show you. So currently I have records here and I'm deleting the data from the student, and again select this one. So currently we don't have any data. Now once you executed your rollback command and again select the data, and then you got the data. Okay, so what we have understood here is whenever you delete the data, and there is a chance to get back the data by using rollback command. Okay, so this is a facility which is provided only for delete command. But when you go for truncate command, we cannot get back the data. So truncate is permanent. Truncate will perform the permanent action. Okay, so even if you execute the rollback command, will not work. So rollback is associated with the DML commands. So like insert, delete, update. Whenever you use these commands, rollback works. But for truncate is a definition level command, data definition level command. So we cannot roll back the data. So now we have understood what is delete. So delete command will delete the rows from a table temporarily. And if you want to get back the data, we just use rollback command. So you can get back the data by using rollback command. Okay. So now, suppose I'll do one more thing, guys. Here I'll show one more thing. Suppose here I am deleting the data. Suppose I have deleted the data. Now when I use rollback command, so currently I am executing this query again. So there is no data. And after executing this rollback command, again if I select this command, select star from student, we are getting the data, right? So what I want to do is I want to make this data permanently stored in the database. What I should do now? Even I perform the rollback, I should not get the data. So I want to store this data permanently. So whatever transaction, delete is one of the transaction. As soon as I have delete this command is not deleted data permanently. That's the reason we are able to get back the data by using rollback command. Now, even though if I roll back command, I should not get back the data. How we can make the transaction permanently? So as soon as you have executed this, when I use rollback command, you are getting the data here. So again, execute this, you are getting the data here. But I don't want to get like this. Whenever I execute my delete command, I want to perform this change permanently affected in the database. So immediately after executing this command, you have to use a commit command here. Commit. So this particular command, once you have executed, then even though if you see this particular table, I don't have a record. Even though if you execute your rollback command, you will not get the data. I have executed rollback, still see the table, still you don't have the data here. Because commit is a command which will commit the records permanently in the table. It commits the changes basically. It can be delete or update or insert, whatever. As soon as you have executed your statement, commit command will commit the changes in the database permanently. We cannot roll back the transactions. But if I don't commit this one, then this particular command, either delete or insert or update, will do changes temporarily. Then we can get back the data by using a rollback command. Okay, so this is how we need to use a delete command, guys. So now we'll go for truncate command. So as I said, truncate command will again remove the data from the table, but that is a directly permanent action. We cannot get back any data. So now I'm using truncate command. I'll show you how to use truncate command here. So the truncate command will be used like this. The command is, so currently I have a table, but it doesn't have any data, right? So I will populate some data in the table, and then I will use truncate command. Okay, so I will use insert command, insert into what is a table? Table is student, and values. Here I'll say 101, and I'll say Smith is a name. Similarly, I will also insert a few more records. So first record, second record, third record. This is 101, this is 102, this is 103. So now I'm executing this data. I'll say David, and here I'll say Scott. So now I'm executing these commands, and it will insert the data in the student table. So now execute this command, you will get the data. So as soon as I insert it, so please use the commit command here. Okay, so then only the data will be permanently stored in the table. Suppose if you enable this particular property, auto commit is on. Okay, then you no need to give this command. So as soon as we have executed this command, by default commit works internally. But here I have disabled this property by adding 0 value. That's the reason I need to explicitly give the commit command. Otherwise, not required. Okay, so these are connection, right? These two things are having connection, guys. If you specify this property as a 0, then you must commit after completion of the transactions, insert or update or delete. Whenever you do these 3 commands, commit must be done. Otherwise, the transaction will not be affected in the database permanently. And if you set this property as 1, then the commit is not at all required. So by default, as soon as you have executed these steps or statements, the commit will be also executed by default. Okay, so now I have done this. I'm also executing my commit. So my records are permanently stored in my table. So currently I have 3 records. So now I will use truncate command. So the command is truncate. Okay, truncate table name. I'll just say student. Truncate table name is student. So what this command will do is, this particular command will also remove the data till the stable structure is there. Okay, in future I can also add more number of records, but this command will delete the data permanently. Okay, so now execute this, executed, and now you can see the output truncate table student is successfully executed. So now if I select star from student, you don't see any data. So even though if you do the rollback, you will not get any data there. So after rollback also, if I execute this select star from student, you don't see any data. Okay, because truncate command will permanently remove the data. You cannot roll back that particular data. Okay, you cannot get back the data. So that is a use of truncate command. So now we have understood what is the difference between delete and truncate, right? So delete command, truncate command will do the same job, but the only difference is delete command, if I use, I can get back the data by using rollback command. But when you do the truncate, I cannot get back the data. It is permanent change. Okay. So now the drop command. So drop command will completely remove the definition itself. Even the table itself will be removed. So let me use drop command now. So drop table and table name. That is your student. Drop table name. So this will completely drop the table. So now I have executed drop table student is done. So if you see here under MyDB, the table is completely deleted. Okay. So drop and truncate comes under the DDL commands, and delete is comes under the DML command, because this works only on the data, not on the definition level. Okay. So now we have understood what is the difference between drop, truncate, and delete. So drop, truncate, and delete. So drop command will drop the complete table data along with the structure, and truncate will delete the complete data permanently, but still structure is present. And delete command will delete the data only, but that is a temporarily. We can also get back the data. Okay, so now I will show you one more command. I want to rename the table. For example, let us say I have one table in my database. I want to rename a table. How we can rename a table? So renaming a table. We have seen how to renaming a column by using alter command. But here I'm saying how to rename a table name. So let me just create one more time student table. So here create, because I need to just rename the table, or you can take the any existing table. Let's go for HR database. Okay. So now I'll move on to the HR database. So in HR database, there are multiple tables are there. So I need to switch to the HR database by using use command. Let's say use HR. So when I execute this command, now I'll switch to the HR database. So now in the HR database, I have multiple tables. I want to rename one particular table. Okay. So for example, here I have a table called, let us say, okay, jobs. So I have a table called as a jobs. So I want to rename this table. So how we can rename this table? So to rename the table, we have to use a command called rename. Directly we do rename table. This is a direct command. Rename table, and table name is a jobs. Table name is a jobs, and to jobs to, and a new name we have to provide. So I will say designations. Okay, so rename table jobs to designation. So jobs is my old name of the table. Designations is a new name of the table. So once we rename the table, the data structure, table structure still the same. Whatever columns we have, data we have, that will not be corrupted. Still the structure, same data is still there. Only the table name will be changed. Okay. So now currently the table name is jobs here. Now I am renaming this, execute this command. Now it is successfully executed. Now here if you see, refresh your tables, just refresh. Now we can see jobs table is changed to designations. So this is how we need to rename the table. Again, I want to again get back the previous name. So again, rechange this. Put the designations here and again go back to the jobs table. So execute this command. So now again change it to designations to jobs. Now refresh this. Now again you will get back the jobs table. So rename table is another command by which we can also rename the table. But if you want to rename a column in the table, we have to use alter command. And if you want to rename a table name, we have to use rename table command. Okay. So these are all different commands we have in